Hello, everybody, and happy World Cup. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Today is Father's Day, so hope you had a great day. We're going to get into a little bit of that. Plus, of course, we got World Cup, and there's a little bit of Inter Miami news we got to touch on as well. But as always, I don't do this by myself. Everybody say hello to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. Ed, how you doing?
Peter Brown, here I am, man. Excited. World Cup is incredible, and there's a lot of gossip going on. New players are coming.
Yeah, and we'll get to some of that today. We're gonna probably keep today a little bit short. We're squeezing this in between World Cup games. Obviously, Uruguay just wrapped up their game, so that was an interesting watch. But we'll get into some of that in just a minute. But before we get too far, let's say a thank you to our sponsor, as always, and that is Caneswear. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. Go to their app. They have a new app. Download the app in your app store, whether it's Google or Apple, wherever you go and get your apps. Download the app, and you can buy all your Inter Miami or Canes or Dolphins or Panthers or whatever you want there at Caneswear. Support a local business, and of course, as always, you can also give us a call 786-474-4435 if you want to join the conversation. So, where do you want to start, Ed? You want to start with the World Cup? You want to start with Inter Miami? Or do you want to show off our Father's Day gifts? I've got a few of them. I know you've got some you've got to share as well, but where should we start, Ed?
Well, since you already started showing off, might as well show you all your presents that you got.
Oh, well, this sounds. What is there a tint of jealousy there?
Well, my family's not in town right now, so I got diddly today.
Well, that doesn't seem fair, Ed. That doesn't seem fair. But did you at least get?
If you do want me to show off, I did get a medal for being the best dad. See, I'm a champion.
Well, no, that's
How you
pretty
like
darn
that?
cool.
How you like them apples? And
I
I got a
do.
trophy too. How you like them apples?
Hold on a second. You were just trying to make it sound like you got nothing. That thing is
I did
massive.
get it. Yeah, see? What did you get, buddy?
Whoa. Hang on. Show that thing again. Show that thing again. What does it say? Finalist? And what does it say on the bottom? I
The
can't see
Dreams
it.
Cup.
Huh?
Yeah. A Dreams Cup. I was able to actually acquire this. And I'll tell you the truth. I didn't get anything for
But
for
what did you get
Father's
there?
Day.
That is, I'm blown away what that is. I think you might have me beat already.
Well, it's actually I don't think I beat you, but it's a cool it's a one of those Inter Miami Dreams Cup finalist things. I was able to
Okay.
acquire one. Apparently they had extras, so I actually got one.
I'm curious how that happened. I mean, how you just come upon a Dreams Cup
They had
youth tournament.
leftovers. They had leftovers, I guess. I guess they made
I
too many of
understand the
them.
leftovers. How are you on the list of recipients is my bigger
Well,
question.
let me just say that I am a very fortunate fellow, and we'll leave it at that.
Yes, you are. I will give you that. Yes, you are. Well, I mean, that may not have been a Father's Day gift, but it might as well be. That's pretty impressive.
I had to, come up with something, Peter, because I know you beat me out on that category.
Because I already told you what I got. So, I mean, hopefully all you fathers got something fun and something you actually want, as opposed to just like socks or something like that. So I got, first and foremost, from my daughter, a messy bobblehead.
Wow, that's
So
nice.
this is good because I already have the 3-up bobblehead, or was it no 3 or 4? The 4-up that they came out with, but I have not opened that. So this I can open and put in my office because I was told. So I have a pretty nice little office at the company, and I was told that my desk and shelves look too empty. Now, they won't be so empty. So
Nice,
that's good.
nice. Yeah,
Got a nice little. I mean, it's Father's Day. You don't expect big gifts, right? You expect like fun little
right.
gifts, and that's a perfect fun little gift. Plus, okay, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Here, I don't know if you can read that. Mystery ball.
Oh,
This is a mystery
wow, that's
mini ball. So you don't know what's going to be in here. It's going to be a mini soccer ball from the World Cup. It could be one of the 3 countries, or it could be some sort of mystery ball that is later on, like a chaser. So it's fun for the kids and for the 57-year-olds. Which
right.
country, which ball do you think I got, Ed?
Is this like an unveiling? Is this like a brand new? You don't even know what it is?
I know what it is, but you don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah. Let's say it's a USA one.
You think it's USA.
Yeah.
It is not, but it's still cool. It is the Canada ball. There's the
Oh.
maple leaf, right?
Well, it's better than nothing.
Even my daughter who gave it to me was like, "Oh, I was hoping it would be the U.S. ball," but you don't know. It's a mystery ball, so you go to the store every time and you keep buying them. And but the problem is, you could end up with the same damn thing every single time.
Yeah, they're like the what's it called?
All right, Ed,
The
we're gonna
little
wrap this
stickers
up
that
here. This is the Big
Okay.
Daddy. It's for my son.
What? Look at that. Man, what is it's a soccer ball inspired thing, everything, or what?
It's heavy.
Wow, what is that? Ooh.
It is a World Cup soccer ball. And listen, can you hear this? Can you hear that?
Is that liquid? A little bit.
There's a little liquid in there, Ed. It's full
Oh.
of a soccer ball, full of tequila.
What? Oh,
Soccer
goodness. You're
ball
gonna need some help with that, buddy.
full of tequila. Party
You're gonna
at
need
my
some help
house.
with that. All right.
Party at my house.
Yeah, here we go.
And I mean, it's a nice like
I thought you could
collectible on
actually
top
pay
of
with
that.
it first. Nice. We got all sorts of cool things.
Very nice Father's Day. Plus, I had a nice lunch with my daughter today and a lunch with my son yesterday. So great Father's Day. So the fun thing was both kids did not talk to each other. They didn't talk to each other as far as what to get, but they knew the sketch. It's like they knew, like, it's World Cup.
They know Dad.
He's into soccer. They could have gone Disney, but they knew World Cup is going on. Let's get him something World Cup.
Wow. Man,
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Soccer ball full of tequila, Ed.
I thought they probably talked to each other, but wow,
I mean, they do, but they didn't about this. They talk, but just not. They didn't talk about this.
That is hilarious, man.
Anyways,
what did they say about that once they realized they both gave you a ball?
well, my daughter saw the gift. So I got my son's gift on Saturday. So she saw it yesterday, and without even telling me what she gave me, she right away looked at it and said, "He won." She's like, "He won."
Damn him! How dare he beat me? But
yeah,
she's
won.
got next year. Yeah,
yeah.
It's hilarious.
I mean, she's younger. He's got more time on her, you know.
Right.
Anyways, all right. So hopefully everybody had a good Father's Day. I figured that'd be a fun show and tell to get things out of the way. It's fun when everything is in theme as well. So that was cool. But Ed, so wearing the USA shirt, USA, big story this year as far as the World Cup right now, doing maybe better than anybody expected. I mean, going into that Australia game, Australia looked pretty good in their first game. So I thought this is going to be a challenge. And then you hear that Pulisic is out for the game. You figure, this could be a problem. They win 2-0.
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like a different U.S. national team.
Yeah, man, it's incredible. Even Zlatan said that that the USA looks like they could win this thing. They asked him, "Do you think the USA could win?" And he said, "Yes." And Zlatan is never wrong, man.
I've enjoyed Zlatan on these broadcasts, and especially the Zlatan commercials where Zlatan is talking to Zlatan, or when he's saying the Zlatan, states or whatever. So, Hey, we got a super chat in here from Caesar. Thank you, Caesar. $5 super chat. Happy Father's Day. Sorry, Ed, on Ecuador. These smaller countries are dark horses in World Cup. As much as we're celebrating the U.S., we have to be sad and a little bit for you with your other team in Ecuador. What the heck happened, Ed?
Dude, man, I think there was a record, and the goalkeeper happens to be a Miami FC player,
For
which is even
Curacao, the
crazier.
Curacao goalkeeper is a Miami FC player. What did he have, like 16, 17 stops or something in that game? He had a
So
really
yeah,
good
some
game.
record. It was a record, man. And in Ecuador, they're starting to think that maybe they put like, some type of witchcraft on there because they supposedly in Curacao they got that stuff going, or maybe it's because they put a what's it called, a jersey on for the Philadelphia game, and the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah. We
thing, the
talked about
bad look
that last week.
going. So yeah, dude, they shot like 15 times, and every time it seemed like the goalie had it. It was just nuts.
Ecuador had plenty of chances. They have no one to blame but themselves, and also, they could blame the Curacao goalkeeper, but they had plenty of chances. One question
It's
here,
nuts.
because a former Inter Miami player, could Campana have put one of those away if he were healthy?
I think so, man. I mean, unfortunately the guy is too fragile and he's always hurt. I wish they would have had him because they put in a second forward. Our old forward Valencia, he's good, but he's already up there in age, man. And the guy that they put in right now, Kevin, I forgot his last name. He's another guy that just can't score for the life of him. So we need a forward. If they're going to go anywhere, you got to score goals, and they can't score goals, man.
So does this mean that Ecuador's out at this point?
They could be, man. Their next game is against Germany.
Oh, they're
What do you
out.
think their odds
They're
are?
out. They're out.
Yeah.
They're out.
So unless there's a miracle, and they could score a goal against them and maybe hold on to that result, which is, they got a good defense, and that's about it. That's their only hope, man. Score that one goal and hold on to the result.
Whereas United States is finishing first in their group, looking great, unfortunately. Okay, and let's get into this a little bit. Oh, did you have something before we?
Yes, I was going to say also Canada is also in the second round, and Mexico. So all host nations are doing incredibly well.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, maybe there's something to hosting.
You got to host, and
the crowds have been incredible. The crowds have been incredible. Even I saw some of the games that were like midday games during the week. I forgot which game it was, but I watched like a half of one of the games during a lunch break. And it was a solid crowd, even though it was during the day, because you always have to wonder if are the day games on a Tuesday, for example, how are they going to do? But it's been great crowds all around. Here, Miami Mac in the chat just got home from Seattle. Words can't express the atmosphere at the U.S.-Australia match. Bucket list checked. Wow, that is super cool. Super jealous.
That's awesome.
Miami Mac.
Yeah. Good for you, bud.
I mean, when the World Cup was announced, my wife, even more than me, was like, we're going, because she knew how important it would be to me. She said, we're going. Yeah. And then we saw the prices. So we're like, we're not going. So good on you, Miami Mac. That's really cool.
Yeah, good for you, man.
And what a place to see it, too. Seattle always has a good crowd. Seattle, like, the Sounders games and things like that, they have a good crowd. So what a great place to watch.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
So what happened to you with your Ecuador team and Curacao? And then what just happened with Uruguay with Cape Verde tying 2-2? It kind of leads back to the question we touched on last week, and I said, let's hold it. With there being, 48 teams in the World Cup this time? Yeah. Compared to what normally is 32, I think is the number.
Yeah.
How do you feel about there being so many more teams? They didn't increase it just a little bit. They increased it a lot. What are your thoughts on there being so many more teams? Because now you're seeing these small countries upsetting in some cases, or just being a real thorn in the side in other cases. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah.
I think.
I think there's no small, country. It's 11 against 11, no matter what. And it's incredible because Curacao has a population of what, just over 100,000 people,
Mm-hmm.
and they're able to get results over countries. Ecuador, they came in second place in the World Cup, elimination. They were, potential, they were supposed to get farther, and it looks like they're going to be eliminated in the next game. It's just crazy. And same thing right now, Cabo Verde
Right.
against Uruguay. They tied. They could have won it. They were playing incredible. Another country that I think it's like 400,000 people live there, and they're doing well. All these African countries are doing pretty well, except I think there was one that Tunisia hasn't done very well.
No.
But in the
But
and for the most part, all these other countries are doing incredible, Peter. It's just
I mean, there's some of
it's
these countries you had never even heard of. I had never heard of Cape Verde.
yeah, me
For
neither.
example, DR Congo. I mean, I've heard of the Congo, like as in
Right,
a river or whatever. But and remember that was a
right.
movie about at some point. But DR Congo tying Portugal 1-1. So a lot of these small countries, surprising. So are you in favor of the larger format or not? Because I would lean towards you're not because what happened to Ecuador.
Well, I just think there's too many countries right now, and the quality of the games, this has gone down. But at the same time, I mean, look at Cabo Verde, look at
That's
Curacao. They're
um,
doing incredibly well. So,
I have to
it's
take
it's
the
hard
other
to say.
side and say how great it is to have so many more countries because you have these storylines, and I'm all about the storylines. Quite often, you have the
The
storylines
underdog.
of these small countries that have 100,000 people in their country, 150,000 people inside their country. They could put the entire state. They could fill like one of the Mexican stadiums, right?
Right.
And that's their entire country.
Country.
And meanwhile,
Yeah.
they're in there and they're doing okay. They're holding their own. It makes for
Yeah.
an exciting first round. Now, also having said that, it also feels like there aren't the games of consequence don't start until the next round, right? Because you're not going to see real good matchups. You're seeing a
Right.
lot of nobodies with against a somebody but again those nobodies are doing something.
Right. Right. So I don't know, man. And I think it's Julio Enriquez is saying Germany is already next round. They might go easy on Ecuador.
No, they're not
I
going
don't
to go
know.
easy. They might rest a few players, but their backups I think might still
Are
be
just as good.
just
Yes.
you
So
already
yeah,
screwed Ecuador already screwed up their games that they could win, right, to move on.
they were supposed to win both games. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody thought they were going to win them, but yeah, there's no forwards, so they can't score for the life of them.
yeah, they already
It is what
messed
it is.
up, let's be honest. So
And
I don't
against
know.
Germany, dude, we're going to need a miracle for that, for something to
I mean,
happen.
talking about the small countries again, Colombia beating Uzbekistan 3-1, but Uzbekistan scored one goal. These countries, though, like they're just happy they scored a goal in the World Cup.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Good for them.
Um, YC says nobody has become somebody. So these countries that were nobodies now we're talking about. They're on the map. So now hopefully some of the money that they make from this tournament actually filters down into the growing the sport in their country and not just into corrupt people's hands like quite often does
Yeah.
happen.
Right.
um
Hopefully.
but Columbia, in my office that I now work in Hialeah, and in my office there were a lot of people wearing Columbia shirts. What was that, Wednesday, I think, or Thursday? Wednesday? Yeah,
Hmm.
Wednesday. A lot of people wearing Columbia shirts, even Cuban people wearing Colombian shirts,
Wow.
which I
Like
thought that was
they're
odd.
identified. Yeah, that is kind of odd, but
I don't know if maybe they're married to a Colombian. I don't know. I didn't ask those questions. I'm
might be
still
that.
new. I don't know the people that well, but I do know that, hey, you're Colombian, you're Cuban because you told me, and you're wearing a Colombia shirt. I saw a lot of that. So there was a lot of people supporting Colombia. You know what I was surprised
But
about, Ed, and I actually brought this up to some of my coworkers. I'm in Miami. I've spent the majority of my adult life in Broward County, and also in areas where I don't have a lot of soccer friends out of you and Julio and Caesar. Those of you that are here, right? But in my
right.
neighborhoods, I don't know anybody that really likes the sport. I figure I'm getting a job in Miami, man. I'm going to be surrounded with people that just love football, and they're gonna be happy and uh, all that kind of stuff. They don't care. I'm in the lunchroom and everybody's just like telling me how they don't like it because they don't understand why the clock doesn't stop. That was a big pet peeve with a lot of them. The fact that the clock does not stop when the ball goes out of bounds or when somebody's hurt or any of those things. They don't understand that and they can't. I mean, I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are all Latinos. What are you asking me these questions for? Now a lot of them are Cubans, but so that's part of it.
Hmm.
But Julio asks, "Hey Peter, would you wear a Colombian jersey?" Yes, because Colombia has a special place in my heart. I've been there so many times. I do have a Nacional jersey. So somebody gave me, one of my former team members gave me a Nacional jersey. So I do have that, and I would wear it. So I think yes, I would wear a Colombia shirt. I would not buy one, but if I was gifted one, I would wear it as long as they're not playing against the U.S.
Hmm.
Because I've always said, like, I don't really cheer for them, but I mean, if I'm watching that game against Colombia versus Uzbekistan, I'm cheering for Colombia. They got a special place in my heart. I've been there a bunch.
Yeah, one of my cousins asked me if Ecuador goes against the United States, who would I go for?
Mm.
Who do you think I would go for?
Well, you're military, right? You're going for the U.S. I mean, you
You
fought
got
for
it.
this
I
country.
told him.
You fought
I
for this
told him,
country,
yeah,
man.
it's like I'm sorry, I love Ecuador. They're my parents' country. My wife's Ecuadorian, but if it came to USA versus United, against Ecuador, I gotta go red, white, and blue, my friend.
All right. So, Ed, something else I think we need to touch on, sort of World Cup related, sort of, but also Inter Miami related. There is news
Yeah.
that has been coming out that we had to touch on today as well. That some of the rumored players and this rumored player and then maybe a new one is deals are basically done according to Fabrizio Romano, who is a very trustworthy source. He says that the deal to sign Casemiro is done. Verbal agreement sealed with all parties involved, and all formal steps resolved. Now waiting to sign, announced with Brazilian. Um, the word was what was holding it up was the compensation to Los Angeles. What was it, LAFC or LA Galaxy? I think it was LAFC,
LA
right?
Galaxy.
Oh,
The
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Okay, the
They
Galaxy.
had the rights. But now that's something that gets on my nerves. What
Discovery
is up
rights.
with these discovery rights? I mean, come on, dude. Like the guy's been playing for all these years. He's a pretty well-known soccer player. What is there to discover, Peter Brown?
The funny thing is with the discovery rights is that teams, I don't remember exactly, but I think they're allowed to uh, write down 3 players every year. I think it's 3. And so they're allowed at the beginning of the new year, they identify 3 players that they are going to say we get first dibs. And the ridiculous thing that you're all right, the ridiculous part is these are not new players. These are players this team may never sign. They may not have any chance of signing, but yet they're going to put them down as a discovery right because, hey, what if? And in some cases, some of these clubs are smart and they get the discovery right not because they want the player, but because they know that somebody else wants the player. And they're going to put in the discovery rights because guess what? They're still going to get paid. Which is what the
For
Galaxy are going to
nothing.
get. They're going to get rumored to be around $750,000
For nothing, Peter Brown. That's what's
just for
annoying.
saying I got first dibs on, like, I agree with you. Discovery rights are stupid. It makes sense, I guess, if it's a brand new player coming out of nowhere. But when you're sitting there
Right.
and saying, I've got discovery rights on Neymar, I've got discovery rights on the most famous players in the world, somebody has put the discovery rights on them. You didn't
That's
discover
BS.
them, right?
Right. You didn't discover nothing, buddy. And they're not going to go to your darn tootin' team anyway. They're going to come to my team, by golly.
Well, but they're going to pay. And that's the thing. And so it looks like Casemiro is going to be coming. And I mean, I'll be honest, watching the World Cup, he hasn't stood out to me so far in the World Cup. He hasn't done anything that I've been like, wow. But also that's sometimes that one of those positions that, you don't notice a lot of times until they're not there, right? Busquets. We didn't notice Busquets until he wasn't there.
Exactly. And that's basically the position that he's going to cover. He's a Busquets. He's the replacement of Busquets after a year of not really having one, because De Paul is definitely not that player.
Right.
You know how many times he misses the ball. He's more offensive, so
right.
Casemiro would take that place and let. Yeah, the only thing I think that De Paul is good with is attacking and have giving that pass to Messi, which he did in the World Cup too. He gave him a goal pass.
I didn't pay enough attention to that Argentina game. I think it was during work hours. I think I watched some of it, but I should have really paid more attention because people say we give Rodrigo De Paul too much of a hard time, especially during the game day vlogs. People have given you a hard time because we made comments about him. Is he giving the ball away as much with Argentina as he does with Inter Miami? Because that's his number one thing, is giving the ball away to the opposing team. That's his best. That's his best feature.
He's playing totally offensive. He's basically the guy that.
But even as offense, you still can give the ball away.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that very often with Argentina. It's just he plays a different position. Yeah, he's playing more forward, so he doesn't have to deal with being back there, and that's what he's messing up on, because he shouldn't be back there. He needs to go forward. That's his thing. There you go. See, YC is saying
he's played very well with this national team. Yeah.
Because he's playing his position, so I kind of
so this should help.
Now.
Should help with that. I think we've talked about this several. Yeah, Bright probably goes to the bench, unfortunately, or then unless they find a way to get him in there. But this more than likely is a TAM deal. So they're selling Kremoski, which has not been announced officially, but rumors are they're selling Kremoski, which gives you enough money to buy Casemiro for a TAM deal for this year. But next year, he clearly is going to have to be a DP. We have heard some rumors that Berterame could be on his way out, that there are some teams that are interested in him. So as quickly as he came in, he could be on his way out, which then frees up a space for Casemiro for a DP. But that doesn't really need to happen until next season.
Right. So, but then, of course, we don't know if maybe Major League Soccer is going to award another DP. I mean, that's still up in the air.
That's still up in the air. And I want to do another. I'm almost done with the book, but I want to do a video soon on a book review for the Messi Effect. I'm currently reading the book, The Messi Effect. I'm almost done with it. It's not a very big book, but I'm only reading it during my lunch, so it's a little bit slow. But a good chunk of that book really is just about MLS not capitalizing on Messi, not capitalizing on the World Cup. So I'm not so reading this book gives you very little faith that they will do something like add a fourth DP or do anything dramatic to change the rules. It does not give you a lot of faith, as the book takes you into the boardroom a little bit, and I don't know if we'll get a fourth DP, but you never know. It doesn't say that in this book or anything, but it does give you a sense of how the owners think and how our owner thinks differently. So anyways, I'll go into more detail with that when I'm done. I actually would like to try to get the author on for an interview. That'd be cool.
Let's try to do that.
Yeah.
They're being very cautious with Major League Soccer, and hey, being cautious is what's gotten them, this far. I would prefer they go a little more, forward with, but there are teams that cannot afford to keep up with Inter Miami and the
Can't afford get out.
LAFC. And
Can't afford get out. Let's get some owners that can't afford. All right, we'll do that for another time. Another player we're
all
talking
right.
about, Ed, is
Oh
Caicedo.
yeah.
Now, Caicedo. Now, this is not the Caicedo that's in the World Cup.
No, we wish it was that guy, but that guy plays basically what Casemiro is going to play. He's going to play his
And the
position. He
funny
plays that position.
the funny thing is, I saw some comments. I think there was comments in this post about people talking about, the Chelsea player. Look here, hands up if you're a
Yeah.
Chelsea fan that had a minor heart attack, right? So a lot of people got to understand the
Yeah, they thought it was
the,
the
they got mixed up with it as well. This is 18-year-old Caicedo.
Fricio.
Fricio.
Yeah. And yeah, and the good and I was telling you
What
guys
do we know about
recently,
him?
you and Julio, that this kid, he plays for Liga in Quito. He's played for the big national teams,
Yeah.
for all the under 20s, for all the under 17s. So they've he's got a repertoire. He's well known. And Ecuador right now is one of the best countries when it comes to defenders. Our defense is probably the best in South America, probably one of the
And they're
best in the
cheap.
world. And they're cheap, Peter. And I was telling you a long time ago, they should have gone for Ecuadorian defenders. Look, right now they've got one of the best ones that we have. Gosh, his name got I kind of forgot his name, but he plays for Paris Saint-Germain. Pacho. He's one of the best defenders in the world, center defenders. There's also Piero Hincapié, who plays for Arsenal. These are good defenders, and they're the center of the Ecuadorian national team's defense, which was they only scored 5 goals on them the whole elimination in South America. So that tells you how good they are.
But this kid, 18 years old, according to Wikipedia, he hasn't really gotten any time with the team that he's with now.
Yeah, that's another thing that I'm kind of worried about, because they did make
He's
him
a
play.
project.
Yeah, he's a project. So he might be cheap, and maybe that's why Inter Miami decided to grab him.
Is he another Avilés, for example? Like somebody they thought could be something, and maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We don't know. He could be a gold mine. It could be a red card waiting to happen. He's young. He can make mistakes. Does he necessarily get plugged in, or is he, depth?
I don't know, Peter, but they're talking about other Inter Miami defenders leaving,
I did
and
see one person posting on Twitter, one of the Inter Miami kind of, writers or whatever, people that comment on trusted, I guess, whatever,
sources.
saying that
Yeah,
Falcone could be on his way out.
yeah, which makes
But I
me
don't.
very sad, because I got the wig and everything, Peter Brown,
Never
and I
wore it.
just haven't had the chance to wear it at the game. And now he's not even starting, so that's why I haven't worn it. So yeah, depressing for me.
Yeah, it does make you feel old when you see that players that are born in 2008 are on your team.
Oh yeah, crazy.
So yeah, I mean, it's interesting that obviously this is when you have such a top heavy team like we do with so many big name players, you have to get creative on filling out the rest of your roster. You have to find like either MLS journeyman, like they tried to do by getting the Vancouver player Blackman. You get journeyman player like that, or you take a chance on some young up and coming player, which is really what MLS wants to do. That's why they created the U22 initiative. They want to kind of bank on the young players so that you can, buy them cheap, sell them high, and do well with that. So, fingers crossed this works out. Obviously, no announcements official will happen until probably after the World Cup. But these, Fabrizio Romano's a pretty trusted source. So, two players that he's mentioning that are coming in. I don't know if there was anybody else, Ed, that you were thinking about.
I think there was, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And we didn't do the Richards. We were watching the World Cup, man. We
we
don't
were
have
just
much
watching
time
the World
to look
Cup,
at the game.
and in 17 minutes we got some more to watch.
Yeah,
New Zealand
I've
versus
been trying to
Egypt.
Oh yeah, New Zealand. Oh yeah, that one player Payne who I think he had like 10,000 followers. Now he has like almost 6 million
Why?
followers on Instagram
Okay.
because somebody decided to say, "Hey, let's support this guy," and dude, it exploded. He got 6 million followers. He's gonna go play for Olimpia in Paraguay. He's gonna get to play the Copa America. I mean the Copa Libertadores and the Sudamericana, I think. So he's, it's good for him, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Became famous out of nothing, and he's already gonna play outside of Australia.
And then
Oh
coming
no, I
up,
think it's New Zealand. New Zealand. Sorry.
so upcoming games tomorrow. Argentina is playing against Austria. That's obviously an Argentina win. Messi already scored a hat trick in the World
Hey,
Cup.
hey,
So
hey, hey! Hold your horses. Don't be saying that. Don't jinx them.
I'm not Argentinian. I don't. I'll
Yeah.
cheer. I want to see Messi do well because he's our player. But I'm sorry, friends of ours like Caesar. I'm not Argentinian at the end of the day.
Mm,
But I'm happy for Messi. You know what I want the most out of Messi in Argentina
what's
is
that?
for him to not get hurt.
Oh yeah.
That
Please
is
don't
the
get
most
hurt.
important part, is to not get hurt. That's what I want the most out of Messi.
I want to bring something up. Talk about Argentina. How all the players love him and passing the ball, and he's just incredible. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw the Portuguese are not like that with Cristiano for some reason. You would figure he's like their goat. He still plays good. He is old. He's on his 40 years
40, I
old or
think.
whatever. Yeah, and but it's not the same, man. I noticed in the last game that they don't pass him the ball. He was many times by himself. They pass the ball to him. He's probably going to score. He's really good at scoring, and they don't, Peter.
Yeah, so I
It's
didn't
and
watch
it's
that. I didn't get a chance to watch that game. I did see some highlights, but I didn't get a chance to watch that game. But all the reports that I was hearing was that he really was just taking up space for the most part in that game. He wasn't an impact player at all. It was not what you expect out of him. I think I read an article, or was it commentary? But I think it was an article that basically was saying how Messi's proving that he still has it, and Ronaldo's proving that he's washed up and done.
yeah. But I saw a number of times where he was by himself, and they could have passed him the ball. They just
Now,
that's another thing. They just don't count on him. They don't they
I
don't
don't know.
think
I
about
don't know
him.
if you. I don't know if you saw this. I think you might have. I assume it was shared in one of our little chats. I don't remember. There is somebody created an AI thing where it's got Infantino sitting at his desk and all the big name players like Holland and Messi and
Oh,
um,
mhm.
you know Mbappe and
Mbappe.
all the big name players come in and talk about, like, the fact that they've scored multiple goals in a World Cup, and so they're part of this club. And then Ronaldo walks in and they all just start giving him a hard time and teasing him and this kind of stuff and making him feel like an
Oh, he
idiot.
hasn't scored yet. I
It
get you.
was hilarious AI video. It would have been better if the AI voices weren't like all like American. Like
Yeah.
I wish it sounded like the people a little bit, but it clearly did
Give him
not.
accent, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they didn't really have accents. They all sounded like a bunch of Americans talking. But it was still really, really, really funny. I don't know how to find it again, but I saw it on social media. I think
I
we
saw it
shared it.
too.
You or Julio, I think, shared it in our group, but it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, feel bad for Ronaldo. It's his last hoorah, and they just don't pass him the ball, I think.
Julio agrees with you as well that the Portuguese squad does not appreciate him. Because here's the thing: is real quick, my impression is Ronaldo is all about Ronaldo, and Messi is all about the team.
Right. And if they're not going to play as a team, don't even put him in if they're not going to consider him. If the rest of the
Yeah,
players aren't going to pass him the ball. That's
yeah.
a lot of things, like in Ecuador, they thought the same thing about Campana. They weren't passing him the ball. He comes from a rich family.
Oh,
The other players don't, so, they were
off the
saying they
field
weren't
stuff
passing him the
impacts
ball.
on the field.
Right. So, in a way, maybe, we could have used them, but soccer is the way it is, man.
All right.
What you got, Peter?
I think I'm gonna go have a drink.
Whoa.
think it's
Well, you
time.
have a good one, man.
I'm not.
Enjoy.
Clearly, I'm not. It's a school night. I can't. I got to work tomorrow. But
Yeah, me too.
we could go have a drink.
Well, hey, if you need help with that thing, let me know. I'll be there.
All right. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up. I think we got to go get ready to watch the New Zealand game.
Yep. Against
Anything
Egypt.
else to promote, Ed?
Nothing much, Peter Brown. We're gonna try to get a Spanish show out to tomorrow, hopefully. It's tough, man, because everybody's got their schedules. Also has been traveling. He went to the last Ecuador game, so he's incredibly depressed.
Yeah,
Spending all that money for nothing. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow.
All
hopefully.
right. So tune into the Spanish channel, Futbol Miami TV. What ES?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Have a good World Cup. See ya.